The crisis is in your head. Now that's the bad news. The good news, you can change the crisis by changing what's inside your head. If you think this is a bad time, guess what? You're right, it's bad. But if you think this is possibly the best time for you, you can move forward. The choice is between your head, your heart, your body, your mind, your spirit. That's where the choice, the metamorphosis, the evolution or the transformation from an immature form. Mommy, daddy going to take care of me. Mommy and daddy going to pay for my education. The government's going to give me Social Security. I have a 401k. My employers and all, You're going to evolve from that into an adult. That's metamorphosis. Right. The virus and the coming crash, financial collapse, possibly, marks the end of the industrial age and the beginning of the information age. It's a very big move. And the people that are in trouble today are people still stuck in industrial age thoughts. The people that are struggling financially haven't moved on yet. So that is my message, that is your message. It's time to move on. So being target market for coronavirus, look, let me give you my health problems here, I've had pneumonia 3 times. I've had malaria. I've had open heart surgery. I've had cancer. Now, that's the bad news. You know what the good news is? I'm aware I had to become healthier. I don't want some vaccine to protect me. It's my responsibility to protect myself. And that's what you do with all your running and things like this. So that's all it is to me. Now, if you're in trouble today, my message is not so kind. This is hard talk, not happy talk. Because as I was warning everybody, this crisis was coming. But it would be irresponsible of me to warn people of the crisis and not personally make changes myself. So The good news is the crisis is in your head. The bad news is in your head.
But what do you mean by the crisis is in their head? Because most people will react very strangely to that statement. They'll say, no, Robert, it's out there, and it's this little virus that's moving around and infecting and killing people. But that's not the way you see it.
Well, the virus is real. The question is, how healthy are you? So I could be a victim right now saying, I have heart disease, diabetes, I'm overweight, I've had pneumonia 3 times, I've had malaria, and all that did was inspire me to be healthier. And so let me give you my definition of health. Health is mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, and then physical health. So I spend a lot of money and time on my mental health, my emotional health, my spiritual health, and my physical health. And the average person goes to their doctor once a year for an annual checkup. That's not health, that's called medicine. So this is my biggest complaint, is that who determines our medicine is the insurance companies, some of the biggest financial institutions in the world. So the average person, because they have no wealth, can't afford my health care. They can't afford my, the physician I see is $5,000 a visit. And if you have health insurance, they won't see you. So that's health care and wealth care. So if you're still thinking your physician is going to save you, that's old thinking. If you think that you spiritually can do what you don't like, that's old thinking. Job security and all that's old thinking. If you think you can just, if physical exercise for you is shopping, you're out of luck. And mental health is crucial. What thoughts do you have in your head? If you grow up mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, and health-wise, voila, this is the best thing that happened to me. But if you're still a victim, you're not going to make it. So for many people, this crisis and the ensuing depression that we're going into is your wake-up call, where you're going to be a victim, and somebody's going to step on you like the little worm you are because you didn't metamorphosize. You didn't transition from an immature form to a mature form. So I'm okay today is I can prove I know what I'm talking about. Doesn't mean I don't have problems, because every problem makes me stronger. But if you can have that attitude, improve your financial education, you'll do fine. This will be the best thing that ever happened to you. If not, this is the worst thing that happened to you. The metamorphosis begins when you look in the mirror. And it's just like when I was going to now. I said, why am I doing this? Why am I going to kill this little 10-year-old boy? And he was a Viet Cong. I mean, I was justified by the rules of engagement. But one day I wondered, why am I doing this? And if you're standing in front of the mirror today, with this looming depression, how did I get here is the question. What don't I know? What did my information, education, cultural background, what did not prepare me for today? That's where the transformation of the metamorphosis begins. You take responsibility. Everybody talks about rights, but we have personal responsibilities too. And unfortunately, our university systems have failed us miserably. And the reason for that is every professor wants tenure. That's my whole family. That was the most important thing about getting a job, was tenure, job security for life. And that's what they teach kids without knowing it. They teach kids that life is dangerous and you need to be protected. So those of you at home right now who are sitting going, but I'm going to lose my job, my house, my pension, and all this, it's because you're trapped with old thoughts. And as most people know, is that, when I came up with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, 20-something years ago, mainstream media crucified me. They said, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you don't know what you're talking about. I said, the rich don't work for money. Savers are losers. Your house is not an asset. And I was crucified, just crucified. And the good news is, as several of your guests have said, the most important thing you can have now is not job security, but meaningful work. So you and I don't need the money, but our work is meaningful. And it's our meaningful work that gets us through the hard times. If you're losing money right now, the problem starts in what you were taught in school. Because they never taught you anything about money. They never taught you about a financial statement, like my rich dad did. They teach you that diploma is everything. It's a piece of toilet paper. So this is how what Fuller talked about, the prison is inside our head, Buckminster Fuller. It starts with misinformation and misorientation. Misinformation, misorientation. And he says, how dare our schools punish kids for making mistakes? How else do you learn if you don't make a mistake and learn from your mistake? He says, God designed us. I'm not really religious, I'm not preaching here, okay? God designed us to learn by making mistakes. For instance, a baby learns to walk by falling down. Baby learns, to ride a bicycle by falling off the bicycle. Tiger Woods, the greatest golfer ever in history of the world, because he made more mistakes than you and I did. But our schools punish you for making mistakes. That's misorientation, misinformation. My message is the same as some of your other guests. This is metamorphosis time. Financial education, in Rich Dad's terms, is really financial transformation. And the definition of metamorphosis is very important. Metamorphosis, the definition is the evolution or the transformation from an immature form to an adult form. An immature form to an adult form. Metamorphosis is the same as a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. And Fuller always said there's nothing to predict a butterfly inside a caterpillar. So everybody listening right now, if you're struggling financially, just think of yourself as a little caterpillar. And this crisis is your cocoon. The question is, what do you emerge as? Do you emerge as a victim? The world did it to me, and the capitalists are crook, and the rich are bastards, and all this stuff? Or do you say, oh, this is the best thing that ever happened to me? The same as my health. I am ground zero for the crisis. All that does is inspire me to get healthier. So the overall theme of Brian Rose and London Real and Robert Kiyosaki and Rich Dad, Poor Dad is, you're either going to get healthier and wealthier, or you're going to go bust. Your choice. It sits between your ears, your heart, your body, your mind, your spirit, your attitude. This could be the best thing that ever happened to you, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, if you turn on to a butterfly or somebody will step on you like a little worm. It's your choice.